Alright, what's up y'all, it's Lakerfan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we got Lakerfan vs Power Df on the 10K court. Just to clarify too, neither of us knew we were pulling up on each other or anything like that. This wasn't a series or a wager or a setup game that we played or anything like that. We just spontaneously happened to play against each other. As a lot of y'all may know, we've played on the 2v2 court as well. And just to clarify one thing on top of that too, when it comes to me playing other YouTubers, rarely ever, this is probably the first time now that I think about it, that I actually put a YouTuber's name in my title. And the only reason I'm doing that with this video is because I talked to Power directly and talked to him about posting this video. But again, when it comes to people I've played in the past, a lot of y'all be talking about Lakerfan, play other YouTubers, play all these series and stuff. The thing is, y'all, it's just I don't put other people's name in my titles or anything like that. I don't be talking about Nate exposed, DNL exposed, anything like that. But just know, we have played those dudes before, and that has happened. So we'll run through some lineup intros real quick. As you can see, Clutch DF, he's on the playmaking shot creator. ISO Drippy, he's on the two-way slashing playmaker, their lockdown build. And then Power is their big man. He has the 3-level score with post takeover. That is the playmaker and sharpshooter combo. And it's a very interesting build, especially when he hits legend. That'll be super interesting. But as far as comp goes, it's not exactly meta, so just understand what he's working with. And then for our lineup, we got Shots VNF. I call him AK if you're new to the channel. He's on the offensive threat, PLAYSHARP build. This is the same lineup we ran yesterday in the video, if you guys are familiar with that. And then we got Apollo on his pass first guard, that is the playmaking and defending combo. And then I'm on my finisher, which is the finisher and defense combo. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. And if we get this one to 500 likes in the first 24 hours, I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, to get straight into the gameplay, the first thing that I noticed is they didn't switch it off rip, with the right stick. They didn't switch clutch off of ball and put the lockdown on AK. And I didn't think anything of that in the moment, but as the game went on further and further, I realized they actually kept that matchup, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. If I had to make any assumptions or guess, I would assume they just don't have too much trust in that lockdown, or they're not familiar with playing with him, so Clutch was still guarding ball. And I gotta say, they come out the gate and they go up 3-0 on us with this possession right here, but I gotta say, two play sharps, the tall play sharp that Power has and the shorter play sharp that their point guard is, that's never going to be a good situation when it comes to guarding our pick and roll. And you're going to see it kind of display throughout the game. So again, like I said, they got their lockdown in the corner and they got their point guard on ball. And again, the only thing I can assume is that they don't have the most trust in that lockdown to really guard ball. So they're just kind of keeping their matchups. But you see, we're coming out the gate running the pick and roll. They switch it right here. Power, rotates really well to the corner. They get the lock on ball. Two guards, boom, I already know. And I gotta break that down for y'all. I really gotta break this down for y'all and really let you guys know how this works. So you're gonna see, again, this little rotation that they made off this screen right here. So Power, boom, kicks over to the corner. As soon as you see the big in the corner, you gotta know they're gonna play sides on everything with these two guards. This is no matter who you play, they're gonna play sides with the two guards, right? And then the big man in the corner, again, no matter who it is very likely to drop down to that roll, because the bigs love that rim, that rim protecting action and stuff like that. They like to, drop down to the pick and roll and leave the corner open. Now you see right there, Apollo shoots the early. I should have gone in and dunked this right here, but I wasn't thinking straight. We have 4 seconds left and I wasn't realizing that he airballed it, so shot clock didn't reset, and we had like I said 4 or 5 seconds by the time that I even had the ball right there. So I didn't really realize that in the moment, and as soon as I passed it out and looked down at the scoreboard, boom, 4 seconds left and we're just screwed in that situation. So now lockdown's on AK, but again, there's still future possessions where the lockdown ends up in the corner. I'm not exactly sure why. So you see right here, we hit him with a slip. Power gets the chase down block on me though, and they get the ball back off that too. 5-3, they're running in transition. We have to make the full switch. Apollo's on to Power. Now, I will say there were some really interesting rotations and good defense, good defensive plays. You see AK dropped off the corner right there. That was a big play. And then he comes back in transition, pulls the 3. I get the O board, kick it out to Apollo. Now this is where we're trying to, hit a reset, because we just don't have the ball in the right situation. Now I know with this video, there's gonna be a lot of people who are clicking on this that are new to the channel. This is the first time you're watching one of my videos. You're like, yo, why does this dude keep pausing the videos? We're big on the breakdowns. We're big on mental game, teaching people how to do stuff. So I want y'all to really keep in mind too, as I've talked about this non-defensive point guard so much, we do this on the inbound too. It's a pretty simple thing, but just keep in mind, we're keeping their point guard on AK, because you see our guy in the corner, instantly going to the corner right there, just making sure that they can't switch the lockdown on the ball. easy screen and roll. Like it's gonna be so cake when it's two non-defenders that we're working pick and roll on, and you guys really got to notice that. And again, I don't know, part of it was like the fact that they wanted to do it. Part of it was also that, like I said, right there we were just kind of forcing them into it. Right here we were playing some stupid keep away, and Loki gave up a wide open 3 where we were trying to keep AK away from the ball, whether that be, you know, with their lockdown build or with power. Right here though, AK is working in transition, gets the step back 3 in the corner. That's been new meta for a lot of guards to be doing too. I think it's a really cool like thing that a lot of people are adding into their game, is like working to like the step back corner 3s. You see right here, he's trying to, and then I kind of wall him off from coming back to the screen. And it just depends who you are. Honestly, I would say, and it's weird because the circumstances are kind of backwards, where it probably works best to get to that corner if you have a shooting big, because then you can just pick and pop to the top. Whereas with me, I'm kind of forced to like roll into the middle and like roll to the paint, so the guards can't really get any, like, you know, once you do that LT hezzy to the corner, you can't really beat them to the paint because you got me like chilling in the paint right there. But speaking of beating them to the paint, we got AK on the rim run. Now I just want to run this back one time for you guys to see. This does still happen. Like I said, I'm an inside big. It's harder for AK to get his paint takes because of that. But when the big has to hedge so high, it makes it that much easier for AK to still get to the paint, regardless of how much of an inside big I am. So real quick, I want to explain right here. Power, this is like big time awareness. This is like big time something that I would do in this situation. Obviously it's a pretty easy read as a big man, but there's still a lot of bigs who don't do this. So you see he slips really nice down the middle right here. Easy take to the paint, even though their point guard, I've been there, done that. You know, my point guard is still looking for 3-pointers. Meanwhile, he's getting double teamed and I'm wide open in the paint. And again, they're only down 4 points. It's not that big a deal. Now, as I've talked about in other videos too though, sharp takeover is something different. This thing is tough to deal with. And again, I don't want this whole video to be just about like, yo, low defensive point guard, he can't really do anything about it. Again, you see we're trying to force the no switch right there again, and on top of that too, with sharp takeover, it's gonna be that much easier for me to get my rolls. Now on this play right here, I want y'all to really keep in mind the score of the game, the fact that we have a 2-possession lead and, you know, 4 points, and I feel like they should still be taking their 2s. Now a lot of point guards, they really are on some stuff like this, and I don't mean to call this clutch dude out by name, but like I said, a lot of point guards are on some stuff like this where you got a wide open slip, but they're still looking for 3s through double teams. And like I said, my dude AK, he's an offensive demon, but he still does stuff like that too, and, you know, doesn't have the highest passing IQ. But if they don't score right here, they're feeling pretty hurt at the fact that they didn't get that slip, or at least I know Power would be, because like I said, I've been there, done that. But fortunately they get the O board. They're working this like hop right here, I'm on it, and they pass it out to Power. Right here we had a nice little rotation, but I was just a little bit late, and he gets that off dribble mid off on me. Big time play right there, and that really kept him in the game, and I really got to point that out. But again, like I said, you still got to look for your slips, you still got to look for your 2s, and I'm still doing the same thing. Now granted, we are up right now, so it's a lot easier for me to sit here and say like, oh, we're still gonna look for our slips, we're gonna take our 2s. Now you see he gets the reach in right there, so what that allows us to do, again, as you saw earlier, is keep this lockdown out of the play. We're coming all the way up, we're gonna give this ball to AK, but you see if that lockdown is cheating too much off that corner, then I can just dot Apollo. So right there I worked the slip, but it doesn't even matter. Again, the fact that it's just low perimeter defense and low like lateral quickness on sharp takeover, and that's just never gonna be a good situation. So you're gonna see we hit the same thing right here, sort of, where you know, I'm cutting him off, I'm walling him off, trying not to let him get back. I thought he was gonna hit the behind the back and not go for the reach in. Now this is where they could have done the same thing as us, where it's just Power comes up to the inbound, but unfortunately for them, their lockdown tries to get in the play too. Apollo's able to switch on the ball, and I'm holding down that corner so AK can get there. There's just a whole lot of action that doesn't need to be there, and it all starts with that lockdown, just staying corner and like not getting in the way so much. And again, he lets us get the switch off again. It's a lot of execution that lockdown didn't really bring to the table that really kind of hurt them pretty bad as far as this game goes. And I just had to point that out. Again, I don't mean to call people out by names or anything. I don't mean to like, you know, like put like bad reputation on somebody's name when it comes to how I'm evaluating the game. I'm just telling y'all as it is and how I see it, and you know, I'm just showing you guys what happens. So boom, AK gets the corner 3 off right there. That's basically game 19-11. All we're doing at this point is trying to take away 3s. Now what they do right here, low-key, is kind of smart. Now you see Power does this little pick and pop slip, and he sets it up again, sort of, on this one. And I gotta say, if I were shooting big and people were trying to play sides on my point guard, I'm absolutely running that pick and pop slip. What you can do with it is you can take advantage of over pursuing point guards, people who aren't playing conservative enough with the sides defense. They're not like, you know, giving enough room when they pass the point guard off. And basically what I'm saying is, You can really take advantage of the over pursuing point guard. You can get 3-pointers off the side that he just came from. It's kind of hard to explain to you guys without the visual representation because they didn't set it up perfect, but I gotta say, I'd be doing a whole lot of that if I was a shooting big. Now, speaking of the slips, we kind of just catch Power lacking right here. I don't know, he was probably thinking the game was over anyway, so he just wasn't really trying on it, but anyway, you see final box score. AK ends with 17 points, 6 for 8. I believe I had 2 or 3 O boards in this game too, but you see pretty light scoring load. I only had 4 points. We probably could have had a couple easy slips, but the fact of the matter was AK still had pretty decent looks at 3-pointers and 3 rules 2 any day. And even if I have a wide open 2, half the time it means an easy rebound. It just depends on who you're playing, what the score is, all that type of situation, on whether you take your 2s or not. And I feel like, you know, for the most part, it was a pretty balanced game. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Like I said, if we get this to 500 likes in the first 24 hours, I'd really appreciate that. If you made it to the very end of the video, put shots in the comments to show your support that you made it all the way through to the very end. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.